Where's Heather? She was here.
We're recording.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. I got scared. I couldn't find you.
No, I'm here. I'm just laying in bed, so I'm going to do camera off tonight, but I am here, you guys.
Okay. All right. Welcome to Thursday Night Shift. I'm so excited, personally, because I'm dressed. It's been like 12 days in my pajamas. Heather obviously is still not feeling very well, so let's wish her all a speedier recovery because she needs to get better. We are very excited about tonight's call. So we're going to start with the question. Bump, bump, bump. Let me open my phone. Okay. We'll start. Callie, can you answer what has been your personal aha takeaway from the several last shifts that we've done?
Yes, I have had a lot of learnings, which I love because I love that we continue to learn at all phases in our business. Some, like when we were kind of talking about this question a little bit earlier, the first thing that popped into my head that I have used super duper regularly, which may sound so simple, but actually was the night that we watched Heather do her Facebook Live party, that 30-minute party. And one of the things that she said was, and you have to get the 3-pack because you need 2 for your house and 1 for a gift, right? Like that was so simple, but I felt like that verbiage is something that I've definitely carried through into my parties and that has made a difference in my Facebook Live parties because it's basically upselling, right? Always making sure you're adding bulbs, making sure that you're adding your cough. We're all sick in some way, right? Adding your cotton cleanups, things like that. So I don't know why, but for me, that's always been a struggle, the upsell, and those simple things have really already made a difference for me.
Who do you want to call next?
Jamie, it was your question. Why don't you go?
It was my question. And I've been pondering, trying to like nail down, but I think mine is kind of a twofer, but one of my favorite things was, or aha, whatever you want to call it, was basically when Heather was telling Jen, kind of like, Jen is like the least craftiest of, we were talking about the join packets and the join brochures and all of these opportunity things. And she gets more recruits than most people. And she's like, not all about the fluff and everything. So, and also hand in hand with that is we can make all those pretty things all day, every day, but we have to put them in the hands of people for them to actually do what we want. So, Jen, you go next.
So I just finished an online party, so my brain is still like in party mode and I didn't really get a chance to prepare for this. But so I just started the question, and I have to say that what the question is what we've gotten out of Shift the most, right? Yes. So I would say it's this sense of community. Isn't it fun to have all of these superstar directors that I look up to, that we get to have a community? I get to have a community with them. Like I see Crystal shaking her head and she just made director and she loves that. Like, I mean, she loves Jody and Jamie and Jill and Heather and Melissa and Callie. And like, she's so excited to hang out with. So I just love this new community that we're building a lot.
Who would you like to call on, Jen Audette?
I'd like to call on you, Jody.
Super duper. So, okay. So, I mean, I've pondered this question a lot too. And I think my favorite thing for me is actually what will lead us into the call later on. But if you guys agree with me, raise your hands. But how many times do you think, oh, I got to get on another training, or I really just don't feel like doing that today? I mean, there's plenty of times where, like I don't feel good, or I'm just burnt out from the day, or I just want to lay in bed and watch a movie. But we force ourselves to show up. And every time I show up on a Thursday night shift, I don't know why I ever think I don't want to get on. I have the best time. And I think it does go right hand in hand with what Jen said about this sense of community. I always walk away with at least 5 nuggets. I swear I learn stuff every single time. But I hang up every single week and we have our own little private chat. And every time we hang up in that chat is, God, that was fun. God, that was a great time. Or I can't wait till next Thursday. And we've all been doing this a really long time. And so the fact that we can still get excited and that we still learn everything, or learn something with every time that we get together, just amazes me. And it reaffirms that when you're not feeling very motivated, that you've got to do the things that will motivate you again. And that's what we're going to talk about in a little bit later. So I would love to hear from Miss Jilly Sue.
Hi. So I guess it's along the same lines. I mean, here's one thing that I hear from leaders all the time, and it even happens, we get in this we get in this mode of staying consistent. So I've done my Tuesday night call with my team, with the exception of having Facebook parties or being sick or out of town, every Tuesday since I was a lead consultant. And you show up and you're there, and it can be, and I probably, some of you have gone through this, if you're directors or above and you're like, what do I do to motivate my team? Right? Because no one shows up. So or a couple people show up, or it's the same people every time. And so doing this, I've learned that you always have something to offer. It's not about how many, even if you help one person. And even as leaders, superstar directors, 10, 11, 12, 15 years into this, I get on not with a mentality that I do on my team call so much, where I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to talk to them about. Here's what I'm going to train. But I'm taking notes of stuff that I can learn too. And I think no matter what level you get to, you have to remember that you're going to learn something new every single day and all of the time, and not to get, not to lose focus of that, I guess, not to get demoralized. If you're like, what do I do to motivate my team? I'm here every Tuesday. They don't show up. The people that matter and want to grow will show up and will be there. And you just don't let your road shift because of what other people are doing. Stay on your road, and then stay on your road, and then find the people that will help you as well. So I guess that kind of reaffirmed this. And I too, it was like a kind of a burst of energy. I too like look forward to Thursday nights. And for the longest time, I didn't have that. So I think it's important no matter what level you're at. It's not that I didn't already know that. It just like gave me personally, and I think the other ladies too, that burst of energy and that burst of just what we needed. And I think that it's exactly what I needed personally, and I hope it's doing the same thing for all of you guys.
I think
Is
Heather's the only
Heather's
one left.
left? Heather's left.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, my biggest takeaways, and oh my gosh, the Thursday night shifts. There's so many. I literally have a little notebook where I have started keeping our notes. The most, I think, valuable one here recently, just because we're kind of, incentive mode and trying to do all those things, is it's probably Jen Audette's advice, just regarding sponsoring, right? Like her having that mindset of, and really, you have to stay so laser focused to be intentional with leading your business with sponsoring first, then host, and then buy, right? And it really is, you have to be very, very intentional to run your business this way. And not a lot of people can do it. And I have got to even remind myself, like, Heather, don't lose focus. I know you're just taking the sale, but you've got to open your mouth or build this relationship to have someone down the line that wants to become a team member with you. And really, that is where growth is in this company. And I have to, remember that constantly, and not get distracted by the today's sale, but to focus on, really building my team. And that is the number one focus that I have got to do in order to get where I want to be in this company. So I think that's probably my biggest takeaway, is that, and being with like-minded people, who you're spending your time with, what you're telling yourself. There's very few people, if you were to add up all the thousands of people or tens of thousands of people within all of our groups, I mean, there's a small percentage of you that are showing up right here live. And this is what you're doing what people are not willing to do. And that's what it takes. So kudos to all of you for just, showing up here live and being present.
I have to agree with that. So with all of that being said, if you guys don't object, I'd like to start the call with the video that I found earlier on YouTube. And then from there, Jen Audette is going to bless us with her wisdom. And I can't wait, because I really do get excited to learn from everybody. But I'm going to tell you that today I busted out of the house real quick for a little drive. And I was like, what can we do tonight on the call, right? And you guys can also share this, but have you ever just needed motivation and you're not sure where to get it? You got like, I turn to books and stuff, but I also turn to YouTube motivational videos a lot. And Steve Harvey is one of my most favorite. Unfortunately, he's not who we're going to watch tonight, but just letting you know that if you don't watch Steve Harvey, he's kind of a, you know, a good one to follow on YouTube. And I watched a couple of videos, and this one that I'm about to share with you guys, my daughter's, well, one's a fake daughter, but whatever. She's like, why are we listening to this? I'm like, just listen to it. Like, let it sink in. Like, this is good stuff. And they were interrupting me. So I got home and I listened to it again, and I felt like I was taking myself to church. I'm like, yes, amen, preach it. And then I wrote down some quotes. Like, I really, for some reason, this video that I'm going to share with you guys, I hope I'm not overreacting. It really excited me to share with you in hopes that it excites you as well. So if it doesn't, don't tell me, because you'll just break my heart. So let me get it for you, and hang on one second. Hopefully we can hear it clear and good. So here we go.
Your screen is not sharing.
Well, I probably should hit the screen share button. I got so excited. See what happens? You just get so excited and you forget to do your job. All right, and we're gonna go again. Are we sharing now? Can you see that?
Turning a dream into a reality. A very precise formula, but it takes time and it takes persistence. We have to know that failure is not an option. You know, and you got to hear this one. This one is important because you got to tell yourself, despite, again, the circumstances, the situations, you have to tell yourself that, listen to me, I'm not going anywhere until I get the goal. Like, until I make my dreams become a reality, I'm not quitting. I don't care how much money I have to invest. I don't care how much time I have to invest. I'm going to continue to do this until I become successful. What do you need to know that you don't know right now? What information, what books do you need to read? What mentors do you need? What circles do you need to hang around? Some of you are not where you want to be. You don't have what you want to have. You're not doing what you want to do because you've never been exposed to it before. And that's how my life changed when I started hanging around millionaires, when I started hanging around successful business owners, when I started hanging around success. If you decide in any particular area that you're concerned about, to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to read one book a month in that area, in 5 years, you'll be among the top 5% experts in the world. Some of y'all want a promotion, right? Listen to me. You want a promotion, but listen to me close. I'm going to tell you what you got to do. So if you give me increased performance, hear me, increased performance is going to increase your pay. I don't know if it's basketball, if it's soccer. I don't know what it is. If it's sales. I'm not sure what you're doing. Law. I don't know. If you're education, I don't know what you're doing. But if you teach and you're the same teacher this year than you were last year, that's a problem. And so I need increased performance, because once you increase your performance, everything else increases. Whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, you're not going to be able to make it happen if you don't have a dream party every day. Like, you got to have a dream session. You got to take out 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however much time you have, and you got to actually go in a room, close the door, and you got to see yourself doing it. You got to feel yourself doing it. You got to actually walk in it. You got to go in the future, live it out, come back in the present, and start working toward it.
That's what I'm saying. I love it.
Before we can do the impossible, you got to do the impossible. That's what I'm saying again. Before you can do the impossible, you got to do the possible. And when you look the word up, possible, what does it mean? What you're capable of doing or becoming. So I don't need you to do small. That's the minimum. I need you to do every single day, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend. I need you to do what you're capable, you're able to do. No excuses this year. The secret to real happiness is progress.
We can make progress as we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get the thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I can really do what my soul desires. I can expand. I can grow. I can improve. I can change. Or maybe better than change, I can progress. I just need you to get started, right? I just need you to get that ball off the bottom. Once you can get that momentum going, once that momentum gets going, boom, there's no telling where you can go. If you quit, it's never going to happen. If you quit, if you give up, if you stop, if you do not persevere, listen to me, you will never see it. I tell people all the time, I didn't get here through academics. I got here because I refused to. It may not happen in 6 months, it may not happen in a year, it may not happen in 2 years, but at some point, my dream is going to become a reality. Every rep that I do, every set that I do, every weight that I lift, I get one step closer to turning that vision of mine into reality of becoming that Mr. Universe. I could not wait to lift another 500 pounds in the squats. I could not wait to do another 1,000 sit-ups. I could not wait to do bench press, more curls until I couldn't move my arms anymore. Because I knew that every rep got me close to staying on that stage as a champion.
Okay. I personally love that video. I really did take even a whole page full of more notes and quotes and things like that. And I can honestly sit here and tell you, oh, good, you liked it too. Good, I'm not alone. Somebody else liked it. Before I let Jen take over, I just wanted to add a couple of things. Like all of us, I'm fairly confident in saying that all of us have probably been filled with doubt and surrounded ourselves with some of the wrong people. And sometimes that's not by, sometimes that's because they're, were born into a family of naysayers, or that people who they have so much doubt that they don't believe goodness can happen and dreams can come true. They don't have a positive circle. They don't have the right influence. They don't know how to go after those things. I was one of those people as well. Never in 1 million years would I've ever believed my life would be enriched the way that it has been because of a candle company or any of the other things. Like the people that are in my life, I don't know people like all of you on my screen. I wasn't surrounded by people like all of you and who have a common goal and belief in utter kindness. Like that's just not who I surrounded myself with. I've learned so much through this business. And I truly believe that what you say to yourself, who you surround yourself with, the type of books that you read, the motivation that you get, and listening to the negative or not choosing to listen to that negative will make all of the difference in what you decide you want out of your life with this business or with anything that you want in this life. So find what motivates you, stick with what motivates you. If you're stuck, if that little negative voice inside you or the real ones over here that are in your ear, just ignore it, turn it off and go find something. Like I do use YouTube a lot for myself when I need to be motivated, and something like that video pumped me up so good. Like I was like, yes, this is so awesome. I'm so excited because it's all so true. So just let those negative things, those negative people out of your mind, pay no mind to them, because this is your life. And if you want it, and if you believe that you're worthy, you can do anything. And I can tell you that because I've seen it 100 times over in this community that we have as Scentsy. So with that, Jen, it's all yours, babe.
Well, okay, so I really haven't prepared a lot, and I'm just going to go where my brain goes with this. And please, this is not all me. So jump in, any of you at any time, and back me up. So I guess I'm going to start with one of the things that he said on that video was increase performance increases everything else. And one of the things that I've been saying a lot lately, I'm doing several training classes right now, and I've been saying, massive action will bring massive success. So increase your performance in the areas that you aren't doing as well as you want to do, and you will get more success. So if you're disappointed in the number of people that you have had join your team so far, it's the 12th of the month. It's the 12th of November. It's a month that, honestly, this should be a month that it's a little easier to inspire somebody to try Scentsy, to give Scentsy a try, not necessarily to join your Scentsy team, but to give Scentsy a try, right? Because it's Christmas time. People need extra money to shop. People are scared to death of the pandemic. What is going to happen in the next week, in the next month, in the next year? Where is their job going to be? The people are so afraid and so willing and wanting to have something else as a backup plan, to have something to do on the side. So how often are you sharing that? Yes, we can talk about it all the time. I can keep telling you all the time, like, keep talking about people joining, keep doing it, keep doing it. But if you don't take massive action, if you don't increase your performance, as he said, then you're not going to get the results. So again, it's the 12th of the month. Where are each of you with your number of people that you've inspired to join your team? How many hosts have you inspired to want to have a Scentsy party because they know it's going to be so much fun, because you're going to have whatever way you're planning on doing it. I mean, we're all doing parties totally different. I'm still stuck on the bingo parties because I don't know, I just can't even keep up with them. But if that didn't work for you, I've had people who said to me, oh, I tried that and it was just terrible. Nobody, like, I got nothing from it. Like, okay, well, I'm not going to move on until this isn't working for me. And Heather's never played bingo, and Heather has very successful parties. And I don't think any of you guys really, any of my girls in my little group have played these darn bingo games. But again, massive action, increased performance in talking to people, in sharing the reason, like sharing why. Just remember that we share, we don't sell. Share why people should be having parties with you. Share why they should be, what has Scentsy done for you? Why would you want to have a party? Share it. Why would you, what has Scentsy done for you as far as for joining? You inspiring somebody of something amazing that's happened to you in your life is the best recruiting tool you have. And I've said this before, me saying that the day I realized I was watching my children step on and off of a school bus was the day I realized that my biggest dream had come true in Scentsy. Here I thought all along, I needed to pay off these bills. I needed to do all these things because we were so stressed out. But I had a good job. I mean, I was making 6 figures and we still didn't have, isn't it true that no matter how much money you make, you're never actually going to have enough money, right? It's the truth. So I had a good job, but I didn't really know what I was after. And at that time, and of course it's evolved. That's no longer my dream to see my kids. Actually, it would be pretty scary if I had to see my kids get on and off of a school bus right now, especially my 20-year-old. But that, it was that moment. So my point being that I have sponsored more people over the years by sharing that. You know what? Sharing what it's done for you, what it's done to change your life, not trying to talk them into joining, oh, you get a discount, blah, blah, blah. Sharing what it's done for you. So momentum, that's kind of what we were talking about tonight. Again, it's the 12th of the month. Where are your numbers? We have done so much training, and that's kind of why we talked tonight about not doing a whole lot of training, but just chatting and just talking about this momentum, because you've got momentum on your side right now. This is kind of a key point in your business. This is a key point in the year, a key time. I don't usually use the right words, but this is a key time in what's going to happen in December. Where is your business going to be on December 15th? Are you going to be right where you want to be? Where's your business going to be on December 31st? Are you still going to have people that are wanting to give Scentsy a try? Are you still going to have people that want to have a Scentsy party on December 29th? Or, where is it going to be? So this momentum is so important. And then that's going to lead you into January and into February, because if you just stop and you say, oh, you know what? Oh, I'm so tired. I worked so hard in October and I got my best paycheck ever. And so I'm just going to take November off because I did so well. I deserve to have November off. This isn't how you build a business. This isn't how you inspire and change other people's lives and change the life for your family. You can work Scentsy part-time, but you can't work sometimes. You can't work in October and then not work in November and then expect everything to just keep going and the carpet's just going to keep rolling out for you, because it's not, right? We have to continue to work. So a couple of things that just ideas. If you feel like your momentum is slowing down a little bit, and if you guys all heard that the snowball theory or snowball, whatever it's called. So kind of right now, I feel like we all have our snowballs and we're pushing up the mountain and we're collecting more and more snow, right? And our snowballs are slowly growing a little bit bigger. So think of that as your team. Think of that as your business. Think of that as your customers and your hostesses, and that's your snowball. So you're working so hard and you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and we're doing all this training, and your snowball is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, eventually you're going to get to the top and it's going to become so much easier. And then you're going to start to roll downhill, and then your snowball gets bigger and bigger and bigger because of all of that hard work that you did when it would have been so much easier to watch Netflix, right? Or to just take some time off. I mean, yes, obviously it is important that you take some time off. It is important that you spend time with your family and that you rest. But again, you can do this part-time, but you cannot do it sometimes. You cannot decide to take a month off and expect momentum to continue. So put it out, what you're putting out into the universe. And, I just had a conversation with someone yesterday and she's like, I can sell, but I just can't recruit anyone. Well, that is such a great example of, you've decided. If you guys are people that walk around and say that all the time, it's because you've told yourself you can't recruit. You need to learn. And I think that, you need to sell yourself, really, honestly. And besides, selling yourself, like, I'm looking at Jody. I'm going to use Jody as an example. Jody has so many great qualities and features. She's super creative. She's super fun to be with. She just has all these amazing things. So that is why I would want to join Jody's team, right? Or I know I said those words, join the team. That is why I would want to be part of Jody's community. So we have to do a better job of selling ourselves and making Scentsy all about being part of a community and not, getting your Scentsy for half price or getting your Scentsy at a discount. So just really kind of selling yourself. And I know I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense, but a couple of things, if you feel like your momentum is starting to slow down, is pull out that Amy app. You guys, that thing is life-changing. And I know we can all say that, oh yeah, it works. If you are consistent with it, wake it up every single day and use Amy. I can't even tell you how much that has gotten me. I don't even have an extra minute right now to do parties because it all started with my Amy app. It all started with me sending out one day. I was like, you know what? I haven't done this forever. I'm just going to sit down and send it out. And I had like 5 people say, hey, I'll do a party for you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really have to learn how to do these online parties. And now my snowball is just getting bigger and bigger. And I feel like it's back in 2008 when I did 23 home parties. Like, I was like, okay, I never really signed up for this. At least I'm not doing home parties. I guess I'm doing online parties. But it's the momentum. It's all because some of us, I think a lot of you are like me, is sometimes when you kind of are given a brick wall, it makes you try even harder. You're like, okay, you always know you can do it. But when something kind of tells you that it's not going to happen, like a pandemic, then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to make this work no matter what. And so that's kind of why I pulled out the Amy app, because I'm like, well, I'm going to start finding people because I can't let this slow down. I cannot rely on everybody else for my paycheck. I got to do what I'm training other people to do so that they will do it too. So Amy is a good one. A booking blitz. If you're like running dry and you don't have anybody coming up for parties, or you don't have honestly, the best way to find new consultants, the best way to find team members is to be with them, to spend time with them, to do a party for them, whatever, to invite them into your community. And so if you do a little booking blitz, get some friends together, find some people on here and say, hey, let's all meet on Monday night at 8:00 and spend 1 hour together on Zoom and do a booking blitz. Do this, have your phones, come up with some fun things. Maybe everybody pitch in $5 and the person who books the most parties, whatever, I don't know, send each other a Starbucks. You don't even have to do prizes, whatever, just get together with some people and do a booking blitz. One more thing, I'm gonna give you one more idea. There's something called a 5x5 challenge. And I used to do this. My director, I'm doing a DIT training right now, and I can't remember if I gave it to them this week or if it's for next week, but we used to do this for a couple of years. We did it and we've kind of gotten out of the habit. But it's the 5x5 challenge. I believe Carla Hunter was the one that originally created it. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say I got the idea from her. But so basically 5 days a week, you are going to do 5 things. And they're pretty simple. You can do it in 5 minutes, really. Well, no, you can't. That's not true. That's not. You'll see why it's not true, but it's quick and it's easy. So you're going to find yourself 1 new contact a day. And it might be that you go on Facebook and you scroll and you see that it's Sally's daughter's 14th birthday, and you message her and you say, oh my gosh, your daughter is so grown up. I remember when we were that age, and I just can't even believe how much, whatever. That was just an example. You can find a contact wherever you want to find a contact. It could be going into the gas station and paying for your gas instead of doing it in the, at the pump, whatever. Finding yourself 1 contact a day. Number 2 is share on social media. Now, I'm not saying I'm no social media expert, no particular thing. You can do a story. It doesn't have to be about Scentsy. It can be anything, but share something every day. It might be on your regular page. It might be on a team page. Do you guys realize that the more that you interact on your director's page, the more successes that's going to come to you? Hear me again. The more you interact on your director's page or your star director or your superstar director, the more community you are going to be a part of helping to build, the more it's going to boost you and make you feel good and make you love Scentsy even more. And then people are going to be attracted to you. And we all know the law of attraction. People will want to be with you. People will want to be on your team. So do that. Be a part of your director's teams at Cracks. It's amazing to me how I can post something and 5 people might respond sometimes, unless it's about an incentive and then you've got 50 comments, but interact, be a part of it, be a part of the community. You're here for a reason. You want to be part of that community. Okay. Sorry, that was just number 2. Number 3 is have either a host or a join conversation every single day. How many of you truly have a host or a join conversation every single day? And I am going to raise my hand because I promise you, I do have at least 1 host I'm not going to say host or join conversation every single day. That is something that I have always been something that I've made myself do. Number 4 is 1 follow-up. Follow up with someone. Think about, Danielle that bought a bar of walnut raisin muffin when it was the scent of the month, and call her or send her a message and say, hey, I just thought about you. I just saw my bar of walnut raisin muffin and I just wanted to see how you liked it. Don't try to sell her anymore, but just follow up with her and see how she liked it. And then number 5 is spend 5 to 10 minutes a day with personal development. So this is 5 days a week. So it's the 5x5 challenge. You want to do those 5 things 5 days a week. So you can take 2 days off, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to take those 2 days off. If you're in a training, like those of you who are in my Rising Stars or Leap to Lead or Director in Training class, that's going to cover your 5 to 10 minutes, right? Because we do something every single day. And anything, like Jody said, turn YouTube on. I live with these darn AirPods. I've gotten into the thing where I only wash my hair 3 times a week now. I'm sorry, every 3 days I wash my hair. It's so exciting. I put my shower cap on. I have my AirPods in and I am listening to something. It's probably YouTube. It's probably some inspirational something, or if some great Scentsy leader puts something out, I'm going to listen to it because I don't know enough. I learn from every single person I listen to. If you're not listening to the training that your leaders are providing, you guys are crazy. There's some pretty incredible stuff out there. Oh, somebody want to say something? No. Okay, sorry. I thought somebody had a question or something. So anyway, that's the 5x5 challenge. If you do 5 little things for your business 5 times a week, do a booking blitz, get your Amy app out. This momentum, you guys, it's so funny. It seems like you can either be things are just oh my gosh, how am I going to get this going? How am I going to get this going? Or slow down. Honestly, if you just stay consistent, the snowball will continue to build and build. Positivity, I started to mention, and anybody can jump in at any time because I'm really not going anywhere with this at this point. But I think today was a really good example of what you put out into the universe, what you put onto your leadership pages. When you guys, I'm pretty sure that none of you would be that person. And you know what? If you are, grow from it, learn from it. Part of becoming a great leader is making mistakes and then realizing, okay, that was really stupid. Why did I go on that page and start blasting about why Scentsy only had however many Starry Night warmers, right? So what you put out into the universe is what you're going to get back. If that made you so angry, seriously, guys, listen to me. If you were so angry that we ran out of a warmer, then something is wrong. You need to realign. You need to change your community. You need to start hanging out with people that give you joy, because that should not make you angry. That is not a big deal in life. Yes, it's frustrating, right? But is anything terrible going to happen to you? If you actually lost customers because we didn't have enough of a warmer that was honestly a bonus, we didn't even know about it 2 days ago, and you had customers leave, your relationship with your customers isn't really that good. I hate to tell you. And that's where I would start. And it's okay if that was you. I'm not like calling you out. I don't know anybody on here that has a story. I have no idea, I swear. So if you're sitting there going, oh my God, she's talking to me, she's talking to me, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to anybody who had any negative things to say about that. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad at all, but that's not important in life. That's not important when people have illnesses, okay, I won't even go on, but you understand it's not important. You guys all know that Scentsy is different. Scentsy is such an amazing company. Our leaders are like no other. They cry when these kind of things happen. Like we've been on the other side where we've gone to like a superstar director meeting or something, and they're in tears because they disappointed us. These people care so much. And I just want to go onto those pages, and it takes everything I have not to react to the negativity, because many of you know that if you come to me with negativity, you're not going to get anything back from me. I'm not going to talk about the person that you're mad about. So anyway, it's very hard for me to hold myself back, because it actually makes me angry, because I have so much faith and I am so all in with this company, and I just believe and trust, and I know that they're always going to do everything they can for me and my family and all of my team and all of us. So it breaks my heart to see people complaining about a darn warmer. Okay, yay, I got to say that. Okay, so who else wants to add? I'm just going on and rambling about nothing at this point. Anybody? Questions? Or somebody else jump in?
Well, I've already done my part. Where's Kelly Tara? She got anything?
I'll throw something in here really quick. I have to agree 100% with Jen. If you're losing a customer because of this warmer, that's not the issue. You didn't have that customer to begin with, right? So it is a hard, long look. It is a lot of learning, trial and error, right? And it's hard to admit sometimes where it's like you've got to do things differently. If you're getting the same results over and over and over and over again in your business, it's time to change it up. You shouldn't be getting the same results every single time. And so I think it's important to remember the same time that you're getting these results. And I saw it today on some of these pages. And believe me, I even saw some of the threads even in my own group where we haven't had a thread have 25 comments in I don't know how long. And I'll be damned if the first comments are going to be negative. Now, all of a sudden, these people coming out of the woodwork going to comment 25 times on how frustrated they were. No, zip it, throw away the key and keep your mouth shut. Go tell someone else. But we're not going to fuel that fire. That kind of energy attracts other energy. And that is not the energy we're going to have on my page or any other leader in this group for any matter. We're just not going to allow it. It is contagious, and that is not what we are bringing into our business. So it's okay to have those moments, be frustrated, but move past, find another warmer, find another way to connect with people and find the latest, greatest thing that's next, right? Post the 6-pack of bars, or find a hostess, or, start messaging people to change that pattern, that negative thought process in your head. If you'll create a different result immediately, you'll get a different response. It's just getting rid of it, right? Get it out of your mind. It's over. It's done with. Move on, right? I think that's where, if you see a lot of these leaders and who you're looking up to in this business, you're not really following that many people that are negative. Number one, they're two, they're consistent constantly in their business. I mean, think about who you look up to in this business. What are their traits? What are their qualities? Is complaining one of them? Is working sometimes one of their traits? No. 9 times out of 10, you are going to find those qualities, follow those people that you want to aspire to be in this company, and start figuring out what they're doing and what you're not doing. It's just putting the pieces to the puzzle together. If you know you have A and B equals C, but you're doing A and not B, you got to figure out how to do B. How are you going to figure out how to get parties? How are you going to figure out to get a new recruit? You've got to figure it out. And whatever you put in is what you're going to get out.
And that goes along exactly what we heard early on in that video that I shared earlier is, what do you not know now that you need to know? How can you pour into yourself and into your business? Like, I love Kelly says, you don't know what you don't know. And it's true. Like, if you ever thought I would read a book like this or any of the other books that are piled up to my nightstand before Scentsy, you're wrong. But this is what I want to know more about. So I want to educate myself. I want to surround myself with the right kind of people, the right kind of influences. I want to absorb as much knowledge, motivation, inspiration, tips, tricks. Yes, girl, this is a great book. And I've read it a couple of times and I still learn from it. If you haven't read it, get it, highlight it, use it all the time. It's always out. So I'm just saying, like, you've got to, if you want more, you've got to do more. And I'm just gonna say it. Sometimes you got to look at yourself. You got to look at, what do you need to change? Is it your ugly self-talk or your negative images? Is it the types of people that you follow and look up to, like Heather was just saying? Is it maybe you're watching too much Netflix? And of course, everyone should take time for themselves. Like we've already mentioned that. That is never what we're saying. Don't, surround yourself 24 hours a day with just Scentsy. No, you need time for yourself. But you also need to make sure that you're making learning and you're making time for your business a priority. You can work this business part-time and have a full-time income, but you cannot only show up some of the time and expect that you're going to have a $5, $10, $20, or $100,000 a month paycheck. It won't happen. I have, in my past, I've sent out questionnaires, and I think this person's no longer with Scentsy, so I'm confident I can share this. She wanted a $5,000 a month paycheck. Great, I can show you, I can give you the tools to make that. The next question was, she only wanted to work 1 hour a week. Guess what? Those don't align with each other. $5,000 a month is very, very possible in this business. And I bet a lot of people on here are doing that. But I also am fairly confident that they are working more than 1 hour a week on their business, on their personal development, on everything that they're pouring into their business. It's going to take more than 1 hour a week. So if you want those things, you've got to do the things that others are not willing to do. And by being here tonight, well, there's 100 of you here, and there's probably 50, I don't know, Kelly's group's 30,000 probably. So there's only 100 of you on here tonight when there should be at least 500 at the minimum on here. So you are already showing that you're willing to do things that others are not. So Cookie, I saw you.
Yeah, I was just going to say amen to what everybody else has been saying. As you can tell, I think the common thing is that, like, we're all pretty passionate, all pretty excited. And I know that on several of these of our group pages, we were asking what topics y'all want to hear. And it's because we don't know, like Jody said, one of my favorite things Callie's ever said is, we don't know what you don't know. But we have been week after week sharing tips, tricks. The tools are right there for you, and like they've said, showing up is like key. But once you've shown up, take those tools and put them into action. You can't just like listen, yay, hurrah, let's cheer, oh, I'm motivated, all right, I'll see what I feel like doing it next time. No, you gotta like put it into action, and showing up is the first step. But after that, you gotta put in the work. So I just wanted to follow up with that. Jill, I saw you raising your hand.
I mean, it's like, I don't even know how to word this correctly. I don't think it happens with the 7 of us. But I know some of you may have people that you joined under. And I think one of the big things, and all of us have always said it, learn from whoever you want to learn from. Like, you're not physically tied to your sponsor. So if they're not giving you, and I don't mean training, but if they're not giving you that positive mindset, you're allowed to learn from other people. Go learn, find the people. I mean, Jen's always said it to me, Becca, Callie, like I've just gravitated to who's ever teaching me at the moment. My sponsor had no intention of doing anything. And never once was I like, oh my God, my sponsor doesn't do anything, so I'm not doing anything either. I found the people that I attach myself to. I literally attached myself to Jen. She was doing stuff. I listened to what she was doing, listened to every call. You know, a lot of times we sign up under people because it's someone that we know. That's the most comfortable. We don't ask questions because we don't know. We don't say, hey, how much training do you do a week? And hey, will you show me this and this? We just go, oh, we're going to sign up because we like the product. We're going to get a discount, see what it turns into. That's what 90% of us do, right? But then there's some people that go, well, she's my sponsor. She's supposed to train me. I'm supposed to do everything that she does. She's negative, so I'm going to be negative. And no, you got to separate yourself from that. You've got to go find the things. And I'll even say this on some people's trainings. There's some people's trainings out there that have all of this power and knowledge. It could be so much more powerful, but they start leaning towards that negative road. And that's when you don't hear what they're saying anymore. And you start feeling that negative energy, and you've got to detach yourself from that because you'll never get any further. And you're allowed to be frustrated, but social media is not the place to do it because that just manifests into something that just, and you know, we were listening, I have to say this too, we were listening to people out there that don't like MLM, don't like direct sales, right? And they say that, you know, that we don't let people be negative. I can't remember the word that they called it, like positive something. It was a bad thing. Like meaning if you want to be negative, Callie probably remembers, if you want to be negative, we delete the comment. No, I would welcome you calling me up saying, I'm very frustrated right now. Like this stinks. You know, I don't know how to handle cause that's what it all boils down to, right? Is a customer's complaining to you and you don't know how to handle it. So you kind of jump on complaining with them. And that comes with time. So you're allowed to be frustrated, but getting on social media, trying to yank in everybody that will agree with you is never going to end up in a good place. Not for you, not for your business, and not for anyone around you. So that's kind of why it's just, that is the reason we just delete it, because it just turns into so much more. And then you're stuck. It's kind of like when you watch the news and you're stuck in the news circle for all day long. You just start feeling that negative energy, and it's not a good place for anybody. So find the people that make you a better person. Don't get attached to that stuff because you'll never get to where you want to be. I can promise you that.
And I want to throw this out there too. Our customers don't love Scentsy as much as we do. Like, y'all, we get very excited about the new warmers release or a new scent, but they're not as invested as we are as consultants and business owners. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yes, you've got some customers that love it, but it's warmers and wax. Okay. We're not talking STDs that won't go away or something. I mean, it's just warmers and wax, you guys. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, and the other thing, yes, Heather, that's a great example because one time I was
what gonorrhea or what?
No, hopefully not. Oh, now I've lost my train of thought. But I know what it was, is that like, we're always looking, I put this kind of in the chat. We're kind of always like, oh, what is she doing? And oh, that's cool. I want to do that. I want to do that. And I think we get caught up in, I hate to say it this way, but for lack of better words, is kind of those celebrity consultants who are super crafty or super, and you're like, oh, I got to do that now. And I got to do that now. And that's wonderful. We want to like open that up and be willing to try new things and reach new people. But really at the end of the day, I don't put near into the pretty things as so many of other people do. Do you think my customers ever go, oh, well, I saw where Callie, that other consultant, she's doing this and this. No, they are working with you and they're coming to you for mine are so much more simple than, and I'm not knocking that craftiness. It's just not the joyous thing that it is for others. And so there's absolutely nothing wrong. And your customers are not going to really know what all the consultants are doing. Quite honestly, they're really not. We know because that's the groups we're in. We see. And so we're like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that. No, you don't. You got to do what you got to do and got to keep it simple. And because your customers aren't comparing you to everyone else like you think. So that's just my thoughts.
And Jamie, I think you have a really valid point, because it's what I tell my team members all the time. Just because you see a decal doesn't mean they're working their business. Just because you see a cute tag or a cute packaging, I want you to ask yourself or shoot them a message and say, hey, just curious, I see you doing all these great things in your business. When's the last time, what were your sales last month and how many recruits did you get last month? Because really, that's what matters. Any one of y'all could message me right now and say, what were your sales and how many recruits do you have right now? And I'll tell you, one consultant that only speaks Spanish, not English, my housekeeper that's wanted to join for 6 months, and I'm at $1,800 in sales. Put your money where your mouth is. If you really want to know what successful people are doing, you ask them, what are your sales and how many recruits have you got?
And I think that is something I've been wanting to say, and you just led me right into it, Heather, is goals. So yes, we can talk about all the things and doing all these and what you do and how you say this and how you do that, but you also have to know what your goals are. So your goals might be very different than mine, right? So my next huge goal with Scentsy is I want $100,000 paycheck for 1 month. Isn't that insane? And who would have ever in a million years thought that could be a goal? And it is. So what is your goal? Is your goal to earn? So what I love, one of the things I love most about Scentsy is they set us up for success with our incentive trips and with our awards. So usually if you want to do big things with Scentsy, earn the annual sales and the annual mentor award. So now if you're thinking, oh, that's a good idea, I never really thought about it that way. So if you want to earn the annual sales award, then you're probably going to earn all the other incentives, and you're probably going to get that $5,000 paycheck, and you're going to invite a lot of people into your community. So that means what? You've got to sell about 2,500 PRV a month. Now, let's say you haven't been doing that. Go in your workstation. How much have you sold since May 1st, and add it up. Subtract that number from 30,000 and divide it by however many months we have left. And how much would you have to sell each month to earn the annual sales award? And then do the same thing for annual mentors. Start doing the math. Figure out what you want. What do you have for goals? If you don't have goals, if you're just like trying to share Scentsy everywhere, like you got to start off with the goals. They are so important. What is important to you? Again, what's important to me might not be what's important to you. And it's the same thing with copying all the super awesome crafty people. Well, yeah, I get caught up in it sometimes too, but I'm actually, one of the things that I do for myself is I finally back off when I need to, because when it gets down and dirty and I need to get another recruit, I'm not going to keep making crafts because it's not what I'm good at. And it does bring me joy, believe it or not. I'm just not very good at it. And I've got some amazing people to copy, right, Heather? Like Heather will FaceTime me sometimes, and Callie too, and Jill, and like they all do. They all like try to help me try to do stuff, and I'm just really not good at it. But again, it's all about your goals. You guys cannot leave this call tonight without figuring out what is your goal. Because if you don't have a goal, you're not going to work hard. You're not going to keep the momentum going. You're not going to do all of these things. So make sure you know what your goals are.
Well, and I like what you shared earlier from Carla. I don't think I've actually ever seen that. So I wrote all of those 5 steps down.
I shared the file. I shared a picture that I'd made of that for you.
Oh, recently or? Oh, just now. Okay. So these 5 things that you shared that are out there will lead you I'm almost positive to any goal that you have Scentsy wise. Will lead you to a bigger paycheck. It'll lead you to your team. It'll lead you anywhere you want to go. You have to have the actions align with it. Like I mentioned earlier, a girl wants to make $5,000 a month, but only want to spend over a week on it. It's not going to happen. So your goals and your actions need to actually align with each other. You can't stay here. And I will definitely when I get overwhelmed, I back off and I'll craft because it brings me joy. It isn't getting me anywhere closer to my goal, but sometimes we need that decompression. But I have to be like, okay, Jody, you can't stay here. If you stay here too long, you won't meet your goals. And my goal is a $75,000 a month paycheck. And it ain't going to happen if I'm making cutesy footsy stuff over here in my desk all the time. You know what I mean? So I like where we went with all this and the momentum. We have all this training that we have been giving you guys. When people say to me, I can't get a recruit or nobody will do a party, and they haven't watched the trainings that we've been putting out, I've got no medicine for you. You have to watch the trainings. You have to invest you have to invest personally into yourself. And those trainings, we're not doing it because we like to talk all the time. We're doing it because we know what's possible. We can give you the tools. But if you use the tools, then they're useless. So when your team says to you, I can't get a recruit or I can't get a party, you ask them, well, what trainings have you done? Did you see this one? Here is a link. This one had a lot of great information in it. Don't just start by giving them, feeding into their, I don't want it to sound ugly, but Don't feed into their pity party. Like, ask them what they've done. Because if they can tell you, I haven't had 5 conversations, I haven't asked anybody, then they're not really trying, right? Jamie,
Jody,
go.
oh, go ahead. I want to just say this really fast before I forget with this brain of mine that I have right now. Something I've noticed too a lot lately is when your leaders or you're watching a training, when they are making themselves available to do it, show up and participate. It's like going to school. We're on the teacher schedule. I'm not going to call my professor and say, I'm sorry I missed class. Can I please have you repeat everything that you just said last week? You're on our schedule when it comes to training a little bit if you're trying to learn from us. If you're not, then you don't have to listen to us. It doesn't matter. But if you are connecting or you are following any of us, show up when we do have the trainings, because I am going to tell you, it's very difficult to help 15, 20, 25, 30 people in individual messages on a topic that we already covered last week, where if y'all just would have shown up or listened to the recording, you would have been on the same page and having that sense of community instead of having an individual business. You've got to connect and find those like-minded people. That's all I wanted to say.
I still
Jamie,
say that. I think that was one of the biggest things. Like, I remember literally folding laundry and just putting it on speakerphone and listening to Callie and Becca's Thursday and Saturday call every week, nonstop for like 4 years. Like, I never missed one. If I missed the live, the phone would sit by me, or we'd be driving in a car. Like, I never missed one, because I think that's truly the only way to keep your mind knowing and learning and believing that you're not alone. When you start doubting yourself, that stuff's going to happen, but you've got to keep your mind learning from the people that are doing it. And I have to pay the most of my success in the very beginning to those training calls. You have to show up, and you have to really urge your teams to too. Like, not giving them the answer. Jen does this too, like, a lot of times there's a training video on certain topics that can explain it way better than we can. Or if we've talked about it, I don't explain it anymore. Here, watch this training video. Let me know if you have questions. They want a quick answer, but you've got to put the time into your business. They've got to put the time into their business. You guys are here. They should have to do that too. And that gives you a quick idea of who you should be spending your time with, working with. If they're going to put the time in, okay, I just watched this video, I have this question, no problem. I will sit there for the next hour and go through those questions with you, because that's someone that's putting in the time.
Well, they have to be willing to help themselves.
Right.
You can ask for help or clarification all day long, but if they're just wanting you to give them the questions because they really don't want to take the time to watch a training, I do have a problem with that, because I have other things to do, Scentsy and non-Scentsy related, that I don't necessarily have the time, the want, or the desire to answer a question that we spent time preparing for and covering, when you won't take 30 seconds to find the information yourself or watch the training. And like today, getting dressed for the first time, I was watching somebody else's training in my bathroom. Turn it on, put it
In
on.
the shower, when I'm getting ready, like, my
Why do you
phone's
think you
everywhere
guys
all the
are-
time. And that dog's
Wait,
butt is
My
super
friends
cute.
are on Zoom.
I know we're getting to the top of the hour, and I have been super quiet, but I've been kind of in the comments, like throwing my little thoughts and things, right? But I just want to, like, of course, as always, reiterate, like, what I love about these calls, and it goes back to kind of what we started it with, is we have all these different perspectives, right? We have all these different ideas, and really that's what we come here and do, is we just thrive off each other. What the next person says, we typically never have a plan at all. But since you're here, first of all, say kudos to you for showing up and for taking the time. And there's several faces that I see every single week as we flip through the pages. So kudos to you, but use the things here. A lot of times if we say things, I just want to point out that when we say things, it's not always directed at the people that are right here on the screen, but it's also things that you can take and then share with your team members. Hey, this training, like if you were a star consultant, you don't have a team page yet, you have a chat. Drop this link into the chat and say, hey, guess what? I just got this training, and this is, there were a couple nuggets that I got. If you took a couple notes, throw those in. And that's showing, when you lead by example, it's showing others the way to run their business. And then as you implement things, again, run back, drop that in, share those things that you're learning, because someone will be sparked by something to be like, oh, what training was that? Did you get that from? Or, where did I learn about that? And then you're giving that opportunity to train and to go back. And the more that you share your excitement about those things and showing up, the more they're going to be likely to join you in that. right? So that's why it's important to share. If we just keep it all to ourselves, you don't know what your team doesn't know. We don't know what you don't know. You have got to be the vehicle that passes it off. You don't have to repeat it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do it all over again. All you've got to do is take the information and put it forward. And I love, I had never thought about what Heather had just said about the professor, right? I feel like I'm answering the same question over and over and over again. I'm denying the same post over and over again, but it's because we teach we don't teach people how to fish. We teach them how to eat, or we feed them, right? The fish, that whole thing. I didn't say it right. But if you can take these things, the nuggets, implement it into your business, and by implementation, lead by example, this will all come full circle and you will be successful together. So that's really what this was about, was taking what you've learned and the momentum and making sure that you and your teams are implementing it through sharing and passing it on. And I just want to point this out. The samples that I make look like absolute hell. So if you want the cute little samples, these are just shreds of brick thrown in a baggie because ain't nobody got time to make them cute. They just need to smell them.
Melissa Bruce, I just saw your comment, and she said, "Nosy girl here. If your goal is 75 or 100K in a month, how much are you making? And my goal is 500." Well, your goal of 500 is huge. I remember my first paycheck being just under 500, and what an incredible blessing that was for my family at that time. And we got to have pizza. I got to buy pizza for my family because we were living such paycheck to paycheck. And I made like these little under, I think it was like 453 or something like that. And it was a huge deal. That first paycheck is what motivated me to keep going and keep going and keep going. Because if I knew at that point I had control over my income based on what I did and how I did it and how well I did it and how much more I was willing to do to get that, was never going to have control over my income working for somebody else. So your goal is 500, hit it. Put your goals down, put the actions into place, hit that 500, move on to 1,000. And I can tell you that, if you should be hopefully doing the 2-2 method, 2,000 a month, 2 recruits a month. That'll change your family's income in the next 2 years. What is the rule, Kelly? The saying, or Jen, you can make more than a doctor.
It's a 2-year plan. So if you, and I can drop a graphic or post it with a link, but if you can focus on what it takes to make $600 a month, which is hitting the monthly sales award of 2,000 PRV, and adding 2 new team members, and then there's some simple steps to go with it. We're actually going to talk about it on the next training for our group, which is a new consultant call. Then you can be making more than doctors and lawyers do, but you have to do those actions consistently. And in 3 to 5 years, if you do that and teach your team members to do the same, and Jess, I see her sitting there, she lived this for so long and she's like, okay, but what did I do wrong? Like there's something, and I'll tell her what you did wrong, because you admitted it yourself, was I made excuses for other people as to why they couldn't do that. I was doing it and I knew that I needed to teach my people to do the same thing, but I made excuses for them. So I posted a thing today on our group pages, and it was a quote from another training, because as we've mentioned multiple times, we're all listening to different trainings all the time, right? And it was, now I can't freaking remember it. My team might, what was it, Jody? I shared it with you. My brain is not working today. It was from Faith, and she said,
oh, I don't remember.
I know, right? But it was so good, but I can't remember. Excuses are not going to build your dreams. Excuses are not going to build your dreams. Whether you make them for yourself or you make them for somebody else, they won't build your dreams. So sorry, but continue, Jody, with that to your plan.
Well, and you can't make money and excuses at the same time. Like, it's not possible. If you want money over here, but over here you're making all these excuses, you ain't never gonna get over here. So you need to figure out how to go from here to here. And I can tell you right now, if you've got excuses in between, you need to cut them out, because it will never happen. And I'm not saying there is a difference between excuses and reasons. Like, I can tell you, Heather and I both had COVID this last couple of weeks. My numbers they reflect that. But I still worked my business. I just wasn't able to spend as much time and as much effort. But had I worked a 9-to-5 job, I would have lost a whole lot of vacation time, but I was still able to work my business by sending a few text messages. And I'm still over $2,000 laying in bed with COVID for the last 12 days. So can't make those excuses, you guys. I promise you, I came from a rough background. I get it. Because I know so many people can relate to that. They're like, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the family support. I don't have the money. I don't have this. You have to find a way to make it happen. I didn't let anybody tell me I couldn't get it. In fact, the more people told me I couldn't do this, and I had a lot of them, and I had a lot of people that made fun of me, I said, I'm just going to keep laughing my little chubby butt all the way to the bank, all the way to the bank. So that's what you guys need to do.
Speaking of the bank, I'm going to throw this out there because I think it goes back to something that was made, a comment that was in the video that we watched at the very beginning. And it goes back to Melissa's comment about, okay, if this is your goal, what are you making now? And then it ties into, where you're going. So a few months back, so I think it was August or September, as the ladies might be able to remind me, but we were having a conversation. We were all sitting here on Zoom. We were laughing. I think we just went through a big launch and we were just having a good time, right? And Melissa goes, you know what's so funny? It was payday as well, mind you. Melissa goes, you know what's so funny? And I go, what? She's like, okay, let's add up all our checks. So we added up all of our checks and we're like, we just made like between us around $300,000 in 1 month, hanging out, slinging wax, training people, helping others reach their dreams, and moving forward. And in the beginning, that video said, surround yourself with people that are better than you, that want the same goals, right? It was all of that things that tied in. And it's so true. We surround ourselves with people that want the same thing. We all want to grow. We want to promote directors. We want to help our teams promote directors. We want to move forward, right? That's who we surround ourselves with. So if there was a training that I took years ago, and they said, if you surround yourself, if you were to take the people in your life and you were going to rate them, I know this sounds horrible but there's no other way to put it. If you were to give them a rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, they're successful, they emulate the goals that you want, they whatever that looks like, right? Whatever that looks like for you. If you were to rate the person that you emulate the most, that you would like to be like, that you would like to spend your time with, that you would whatever, and then 1 being they are unmotivated, they're not going anywhere, they're negative, all of those things. If you were to rate the people in your life that you spend the most time with, where do those people fall? And the people that you need to switch that to are at least 1 or 2 above where you currently are. So if you say, I'm in the middle of the line, I'd say I'm a 3, solid 3. I need to be hanging out with 4s. I need to be hanging out with 5s because that's where I want to be. I don't want to be over here with the 1s. I want to be with these type of people. That will happen. And I can tell you that probably in this except for the last couple of weeks, we've been a little slacking, but the 7 of us, we pretty much Zoomed every single day for a year. I would say almost every single day for a year, we Zoomed together. And all of us, yes, this year is crazy. It's a year of hyper growth. Things are way different than we ever imagined. But all of us can tell you our businesses, our paychecks, our confidence, our community, all of that has probably doubled and tripled, and it's been the biggest difference for our businesses. So that is what you need to do, is you need to go out and find the people that you want to surround yourself with and do that. And if you can't be with them one-on-one, then you need to reach out and ask for a one-on-one. You need to reach out and find people that are on the same path as you. When you see somebody commenting and interacting on your team page, or when you do that and they comment and they're on the same page, send them a private message. Create that connection, create that community.
I just wanted to say something because that made me think. We had a group chat with my group. I can't remember. I've lost track of all time, but someone said, basically just going right off of what Callie just said, if you're doing a Facebook party, if you're struggling with something and you're trying to find those people, a couple of my girls like chatted and said, I'll be your hype girl. If you need someone to be in your Facebook party with you, commenting, cheering you on, helping you, like asking. And I love that. We should all be each other's hype girls. Like, she said, because one girl was like, well, I just haven't done a party yet, or maybe she hadn't had a success. And I said, well, the more engagement you have on a live, the easier it rolls off the tongue. And if you have a consultant already in there with you, who maybe they're like, oh, she hasn't talked about the flowers, you could say, like, you can kind of trigger them. Anyway, hype girl, I love that. We should all be hyping each other up, and we need to have those right people around us, which also makes me think of that speaker in Anaheim. Anaheim. Is that where we're? I don't know if that was right. Anyway, about the 5 people you surround yourself with. Find your hype people, those people who are willing to hype it up and be there for you and be present, because that can make all the difference of those people you surround yourself with.
I'm your hype girls. Y'all are my hype girls, and you need them, because I'm going to tell you what we just said about this last, since COVID started, and we're all scared. Where's our business going to go? If it wasn't for our group of hype girls that we have, like, I don't know where I'd be, because there are plenty of days where I don't believe I'm good enough. I let those icky comments come in, and when one of us is down, the rest of us are there to pick each other up. We do not let each other stay down for long. We might be like, there, have a good cry. Now get your butt up and let's do the damn thing. And that's what you need to do. Get up and do the damn thing, always. So yes, I know we went over again. God, we just get talking. Look at this. I'm so excited. So we should probably let everybody go, because it's past my bedtime now, but I'm not gonna lie, after Thursday night calls, I don't go to bed till like midnight. I can't like come down. It's crazy. But so does anybody else have anything in closing that they want to add, or we pretty good? We're pretty good. So once again, thank you guys all so much for spending an hour and 11 minutes listening to us talk. I did put the YouTube link in the chat earlier. Hopefully you got it. If not, let your leader know, because I'll make sure that they have it. And always, as always, send us your suggestions and your feedback. We like to know what more you want to know about, and what you liked, and what we can change to do better to serve you. So, and remember what Heather always said, nothing changes if nothing changes. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye.
Good night, and go support your directors' pages. It will change your business.